Blackheads usually begin when pores get clogged with excess oil and dead skin cells, so prevention works best when skincare stays gentle, regular, and simple rather than harsh, aggressive, or constantly changing. Wash acne-prone skin no more than twice a day, and also after heavy sweating, using a mild cleanser and lukewarm water, because frequent washing, rough scrubbing, and very hot or very cold water can irritate the skin and make acne seem worse. Do not try to squeeze, scrape, or clean out blackheads at home, because that can worsen inflammation and may increase the risk of lasting marks or scarring. Choose oil-free or non-comedogenic skincare, sunscreen, and makeup when possible. Remove makeup before bed, and keep oily hair products away from the face. Over-the-counter ingredients such as salicylic acid, adapalene, and benzoyl peroxide can help unclog pores or support acne control, but they can cause dryness or irritation at first. So it makes sense to start slowly and use a light moisturizer if needed. Improvement usually takes several weeks rather than happening overnight. And if acne becomes painful, widespread, scar-forming, or does not improve after a reasonable trial of self-care, it is sensible to see a dermatologist. And now, with that practical advice set neatly at the front like a folded towel on a bathroom shelf, let the rest of the evening belong to something lighter. Because in a tidy retirement town in Arizona, where every driveway held either a golf cart or a quiet grudge, there lived a 79-year-old widow named Beverly Ann Mercer, who had reached the age where she no longer apologized for having standards and no longer wasted lipstick on people who called ahead only to ask foolish questions they could have answered by standing still and thinking. Beverly Ann lived in a peach-colored stucco house with a blue front door, a narrow porch, 2 iron chairs with cushions she brought in whenever the weather hinted at disrespect, and a kitchen window that looked out toward a patch of desert gravel. She insisted on calling a front garden because she had planted 3 determined rose bushes there and would not surrender the word garden to geography. Her late husband, Norman, had been gone 7 years, but he remained in the house in all the practical little ways that mattered. In the magnetic notepad on the refrigerator, where he used to write down impossible hardware measurements, as if numbers might behave better if written large. In the coffee mug with the chipped handle that she continued to use, because broken things, when loved enough, become familiar rather than defective. And in the old answering machine he had refused to throw away because, in his opinion, buttons were more honorable than touchscreens, and any technology that required passwords was already morally compromised. The answering machine sat on a little table in the hallway, beige, square, stubborn, and still functional, which made Norman feel both dead and annoyingly vindicated. Beverly Ann's 2 closest friends were Nancy Lou Pritchard, age 73, retired dental receptionist, owner of a handbag large enough to conceal files, peppermints, and 3 entirely separate emotional reactions to any situation, and a woman who could smell gossip before it fully entered the room, and Walter, Wally Grimes, age 82, former appliance repairman, amateur horseshoe critic, and a man who trusted coffee, extension cords, and his own suspicions more than he trusted websites, software updates, or anyone who used the phrase, "circle back" in ordinary speech. Every Tuesday morning, the 3 of them met at Sunny Mesa Cafe, where the pancakes were wider than the plates, the coffee was hot enough to improve morals, and the waitress, Trudy, called everyone honey, in a voice that suggested she could just as easily organize an intervention if needed. One Tuesday in late February, Beverly Ann arrived 14 minutes late carrying her purse, a legal pad, and a face so tense that Nancy Lou stopped spreading jam and Wally lowered his mug without taking the sip he had clearly been preparing to enjoy. "That look," Nancy said, narrowing her eyes, "means either the HOA has mailed something stupid or somebody has involved you in a committee. Beverly Ann sat down, set the legal pad on the table, and said, I appear to be running a romantic cruise reservation line. Wally blinked once. Nancy Lou blinked twice. Trudy, who had just approached with the coffee pot, stopped so fast the spoons in her apron jingled. You're running a what? Nancy asked. Beverly Ann slid the legal pad forward. On the page were names, cabin requests, food restrictions, and one note written in dark pen that read, Does he snore? For the past 36 hours, Beverly Ann said, my home phone has received 21 calls from seniors trying to reserve spots on something called the Moonlight Friendship River Cruise. At first, I assumed a local woman had lost her mind and dialed the wrong number. Then another called. Then another. Then a man asked whether the widows would be grouped by hobby or cardiac history. At 6 this morning, a woman named Sharon wanted to know if ballroom dancing was mandatory and whether there would be shrimp. Trudy put the coffee pot down with reverence. That is the best sentence I've heard in 2 months. Now, younger people might think a mistaken phone number is a simple problem solved by one correction and a bit of common sense, but younger people have not yet learned how quickly older communities can turn clerical error into full civic theater. In Silver Palms Village, any event involving music, buffets, excursions, or the phrase friendship opportunity could acquire emotional momentum faster than weather. So when Beverly Ann explained that the town's new companionship cruise flyer had somehow listed her home number as the reservation line, no one at the table treated this as small. This was a live wire touching multiple social circuits at once. By the time eggs arrived, half the cafe knew. A man at the counter said he had considered calling himself, but wanted to wait until after payday. A woman near the pastry case said the cruise had been socially overmarketed from the beginning. Trudy brought Beverly Ann extra bacon for stabilization. Nancy Lou pulled a pen from her bag. Wally leaned back with the alert fatigue of a man sensing the day had abandoned all ordinary expectations. We're investigating, Nancy declared. Beverly Ann sighed. We're eating breakfast. Both can happen, Wally replied, which was exactly the kind of sentence retired people say when they have already accepted nonsense as the day's central assignment. By 10:30, the three of them were standing in Beverly Ann's hallway, staring at the answering machine, as if it were both innocent and somehow responsible. The message light blinked red with exhausted persistence. She pressed play. A woman's voice filled the hall. Hello! I'd like to request a seat far from any recent widowers who say they're not ready but came anyway. Another message followed. Please note that my sister has a shellfish allergy, weak knees, and no patience for men who think owning a boat hat is a personality. Wally rubbed his jaw. This isn't just reservations, he said. This is community confession. Nancy was already scanning the flyer Beverly Ann had pulled from her mailbox. It was pastel blue, decorated with moonlight and water reflections, and carried the title Sunset Connections Cruise under a photograph of two older people holding wine glasses at an angle that suggested neither knew quite what to do with their elbows. At the bottom sat the disastrous line, Reservations and Inquiries. Call Beverly Mercer at the listed number. Mercer, Nancy read. That's why. Beverly Ann looked over her shoulder. What? The coordinator is Beverly Martin. They printed Beverly Mercer. Wally grunted. That's not a typo. That's a public health issue. Beverly Ann pressed 2 fingers to her forehead. Do you understand that a man from Unit C left me a message saying he plays clarinet but is open to growth? Nancy Lou, who had begun this morning as a friend and was now functioning largely as an entertained investigator, said, We need to find Beverly Martin immediately. Beverly Martin turned out to be the chair of the Social Enrichment Council, a title already suspicious enough to justify pursuit. They found her at the clubhouse, in a room full of brochures, table decorations, and 6 women arranging name tags as if they were handling diplomatic credentials. Beverly Martin herself was 68, overcommitted, heavily perfumed, and had the bright, strained look of a woman trying to carry too many logistical plates at once while pretending none of them were glass. The moment she saw Beverly Ann, guilt moved visibly across her face like weather. "Oh dear," she said. "That is not the opening of a woman who has done well," Beverly Ann replied. Beverly Martin clasped her hands. "I'm so sorry. The printer used the contact sheet from last month's library fundraiser and auto-filled your name under reservations because we were both listed as Beverly M. I meant to fix it before distribution." "And did you?" "Not in time. Not in time," Beverly Ann repeated. "So now 37 lonely or confused retirees believe my hallway is the administrative heart of romance on water." One of the women at the name tag table looked up sharply, then lowered her eyes with the guilty speed of someone who had absolutely already called that number herself. Beverly Martin explained that the cruise was meant to be a harmless social mixer, sunset boat ride, live piano, finger sandwiches, conversation starters on every table, a photographer for memories, and optional dancing after dessert, which was precisely the sort of phrase that made Beverly Ann distrust the entire enterprise on theological grounds. "It was supposed to encourage companionship," Beverly Martin said weakly. "It has encouraged voicemail," Beverly Ann replied. Wally, who had remained mostly quiet until now, took the stack of printed flyers from the table, looked at them, and said, "How many of these did you distribute?" Beverly Martin hesitated. 300. Nancy Lou placed one hand over her chest. 300. "Some were just at the clubhouse," Beverly Martin said. "Some were mailed." "Mailed," Beverly Ann said. "You mailed my phone number into the emotional bloodstream of this town." The room had gone quite still by then. One cannot overstate the listening skills of older women pretending to arrange place cards. Beverly Martin apologized. She apologized again. She apologized in a manner so complete that it almost became professional. Yet the damage was already alive. Even if every future flyer was corrected, the wrong number was now circulating in purses, kitchens, church bags, and refrigerator magnets across the community. "We need a solution," Beverly Martin said. "You need a replacement," Beverly Ann replied. "And perhaps a better printer." But then came the problem neither woman had anticipated, because while the calls had certainly annoyed Beverly Ann, they had also created something stranger. By listening to the messages, however unwillingly, she had heard pieces of people she had never fully seen before. Not polished public versions, the private versions, nervous versions, funny versions. A widower asking whether there would be assigned seating because he had forgotten how to begin conversation without a purpose. A woman admitting she wanted to go but feared looking foolish if no one spoke to her. A man asking if suspenders were too formal for river settings. A widow wanting to know whether talking about a late spouse would spoil the mood.